We're very excited to have with us filmmaker Balaji Vembu Chelli today, and his film, you just watched his film, The Tremor. Welcome, Balaji.
Very, very glad to be here. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Now, I
Really glad.
understand you're in Chennai?
Yes, I'm in Chennai, the southern coastal city. So that's where I was born, so that's where I'm from.
Well, it's such a shame that we can't have you in Montreal for the presentation of your beautiful film. Thank you so much for sharing it with our audiences and for bringing it to us.
Thank you for the opportunity. I mean, like, it's a phenomenal festival. So I've been drooling about looking at the festival's website. It's beautiful, and the screenings that are arranged in the appos. I mean, like, it's like, I know I would have loved to have been present there, but yes, but still, it's phenomenal. Thank you.
Of course. So please tell us about your film. What brought you the idea of making this film? Now, I understand you wrote, produced, and directed this film. And is this, tell us a little bit about that.
Okay. So this is, first of all, my debut feature film. So I've been dabbling with the idea of trying to make a independent experimental film from Chennai. So, and then over the course of time, I was thinking about going on a road trip. So one thing turned into another, and then the story struck, and then we made the film. So it's about the film. It's a story about the catastrophe as such, about a catastrophe, albeit a little mysterious one. It's also the story of a photojournalist looking for his first major break. So we follow the photojournalist on this strange, mysterious journey, and does he find the scoop he's looking for or not, kind of makes up the rest of the film.
It's a very meditative film with very long takes and a lot for the audience to be able to observe and enjoy. These mountains are near Chennai?
They are not exactly near Chennai. They are around a night's journey away from Chennai.
Okay.
So they are, like, to be precise, 10, 12 hours away from Chennai.
Oh, wow. Okay, okay. And tell me a little bit about this area. I thought it was just beautiful, with the mountains and the fog and that landscape. You really captured a lot of beauty of that area.
Absolutely. The place it's called Kodaikanal. It's a proper touristy place in the southern Tamil Nadu, but we did an extensive recce. So we went to Kodaikanal, and then we suddenly realized there were smaller villages beyond Kodaikanal, which we are not really used to, because it's under touristy terms, you are like, the limit is Kodaikanal. So we thought we'll explore that. And they were, I mean, like, it gave us a different understanding of the landscape after that. So we shot in around two villages. One village is called Kukal. That's 35 kilometers from this touristy place called Kodaikanal. And there's another village called Kiranavayal. So these are very, very tiny villages. And they're pretty much mainly terrace farming based villages. And they are situated in the western Ghats of Tamil Nadu. So, and speaking about the mist, so this is a very curious factor, which we were, like, a lot of times waiting for the mist. So the mist kind of dictated the rhythm of how we were going to shoot. So we were ideally waiting for the mist. We were waiting for the mist to appear and then roll. So,
and how many days did it take you to shoot this film?
It took us 3 weeks to shoot the whole film.
And how did you cast?
So for the main lead, it was a very difficult casting. So we started auditioning with different theatre-based performers from Chennai. And then after a couple of auditions, and for some strange reason, Rajiv, the lead cast in the film right now, so he kind of struck all of us immediately. We thought, all right, he has that physical presence as well as a little bit of that pulp hero image in a weird way. I don't know if I can say that, but yeah. So then we went ahead, and then for the other characters, we cast a few people from the theatre circle in Chennai, and there were a few locals we auditioned in the mountains, and we cast them as well.
And so how was it working with locals? I mean, there's a lot of mystery and comedy and kind of ghost-like feeling. What did you tell them? How did you convince these people to act in your film, first of all? What did you say the film was about?
Oh, I actually told them the whole story, what it was about, and they gave a very strange reaction, but they were very very warm people who uh, embraced the idea of it. And the old person who's acted in the film, he is the thespian actor of that village. So he's the person who performs in the village, the plays that are erected in the village. So it was fun. So we went ahead a week ahead before the shoot, and also we did an extensive recce. So we got acclimatized to the place. We got acclimatized to the rhythm of the people. So it that way it became a little natural for us to blend with them, and the other way around as well.
And where did you have they seen your film? Where is your film shown so far?
Not yet, not anywhere yet. So it's world premiering in Montreal.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's so special. That's wonderful.
Absolutely. Yes,
Thank you so much for
absolutely.
that, for giving us that. That's a really, really big deal for us.
My pleasure. Absolutely.
What are you working on next?
So I'm trying to develop two other different scripts. One that's happening in a night in the city. It's about a phenomenon that is apparently witnessed by different people the at different at that particular night, and what varying interpretation that kind of thing. That's an idea that I've been currently working on, and there is another script that's also I've been simultaneously I started diving into.
And how is COVID affecting Chennai and your film work?
Oh, it's a little gray only here, but overall, the I mean, like everybody now seem to have gotten a little all right with it. It feels like they gotten used to it, and it's reached the threshold. It's been 5 months here, and people are getting out. But I wouldn't say it's gone by any means. It's still there, but people are trying to have a little bit of measured approach, if I can say that. So yeah.
And now, sorry, getting back to your film, tell us what gave you the idea of writing this film? What inspired your film?
Okay. So there are actually a variety of influences. One being I was and I'm still am fascinated by the local folk tales and also the local ghost stories that also turn up in the pulp format. So that being one. Another, and I was also very fascinated. I was fascinated by the structure of the absurdist playwrights. So that was something that really intrigued me. So I was that took a while to crack while writing this film to arrive at the structure, and so that we can show all the beautiful landscape, so that the structure in the hope that the structure will balance it. So I would say these things, and plus also a little bit of mystery books from my childhood, a little bit of cartoons. So I guess an amalgamation of all these kind of started possessing me, and it,
And
yeah,
I find that it's a very interesting statement on journalism and on depicting truth. And I think the film is quite cheeky. Actually, it's funny because it's making kind of fun of the viewer at times. It's playing with your perceptions. It's got a little bit of a ghost story going on. It's got so many things happening. What do you want to tell us about that? Like how did you this is an unusual story coming from India. It's a very creative story.
right,
So tell us a little bit more
right.
about that.
Right. Regarding the journalistic angle, so I've recently and previously been watching this television news unfold, and it got a little bit frustrating because uh, being from the creative field, we were able to spot what manipulation was being done in the TV media. It was very weird the way repetitive images were used to convey some sorrow, and the also use of melodramatic music and repetitive sounds. So it was at the beginning it was a little annoying, irritating, and then we thought, okay, let's pick a story up and make it an exercise of repetition and non-melodramatic music. What if we turn it upside down? So that kind of led to the idea. And at the beginning, the main reason was it was also funny, and that was another major reason to embrace it and go ahead with it.
And
So
you
yeah,
have very little dialogue. You know, it's like this actor has done quite a great job, I think, because you know you see the anxiety in the actor, and also the frustration with technology, which is quite interesting.
correct. Yeah.
You know, and
Uh,
access.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that also, I think all of us collectively derive from the different road trips we've been to or the different journeys we've been to. The network connectivity goes off after a point, and in a way, you are going into nature, but there is this strange tangent that's happening. So that was there. And sorry, what was the first part of the question?
No, I was just saying that it's the actor is very saying very little
Correct.
but doing so much.
And very little dialogue.
Yeah.
So yes, so we wanted to create. I mean, like to create the atmosphere. It was crucial. So that was the idea of transporting the viewer hopefully into the film. So we thought we had to establish the space, give it time, and then once the viewer feels comfortable in the environment, then it might be easier for things to unfold. And I mean, like, so more towards and give a little space for thought. If it's more dialogue based, then we would have probably have had to explain more. So, which I thought maybe that's a beautiful thing. A viewer can puzzle it together. That kind of excited all of us. We thought, okay, great, yes.
That's so great when you know it's a real challenge to be able to tell the story without dialogue and just with the actions. And one of the scenes I laughed at was when this man who's just like taking a nap in his house, the
Right.
journalist comes and disturbs him, and then the guy's son tries to give directions and so on, and the man is really annoyed with his son. And just the interplay between the three characters I thought was extremely funny and very understated. So how did that? How did you come up with that? That's so funny.
Uh, we wanted it to be a little funny as well. We did a little bit of rehearsals before. We had the scene written down. We cast the boy locally, so it took a little bit of time for him to get into the mood of things. But once he did, he started doing a little bit of extra here and there. And the last portion where he uh, lifts his head up and looks, that was completely improvised by him. We were like excited really. It took a few takes to get the extra impulse out of him to
Yeah,
do such an action, but we were all we loved it.
it's so
So
good. I mean, you know, you just think that dad's gonna whack him any second now because dad was so annoyed with him.
yeah,
But that's quite lovely because your film is doing that. It's taking the viewer to these beautiful places and also showing the complexity of people there and how people are, you know, they're not affected by the news. They haven't got electricity for months or whatever, and they're just
yeah,
chilling. They're just living their lives, you know. And I thought that was really excellent juxtaposition between the city boy with his fancy car
absolutely.
and
Yes,
his complete
yes,
reliance on technology, and then these people just
absolutely.
chilling and having a smoke.
Absolutely. That is absolutely true. That was the major factor for us to show the separation between, like you just mentioned, between a city person and the locals, and how it's anthropologically very disconnected for this person as well. So, so yes.
So where is your how is your film going to be perceived in India, do you think, or South Asia? Is it going to go to play any places? Is it going anywhere now? Like, do you have any theatrical or anything set up?
We are eventually trying to get a small theatrical, hopefully after the COVID situation subsides here. And then we are, of course, looking at an online space to take the film there, though it might not be the most ideal space, maybe because it's more experiential and a big screen would do full justice to it. So we are
Absolutely.
exploring both the
The film has
possibilities.
to be seen on the big screen. It's so
Yes.
beautifully shot. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Okay. So we wanted to go for long shots right from the beginning. So we pretty much shot most of the film in 28 millimeter lens, and we thought so that would give the right amount of separation between the viewer and the actions that are unfolding, and it might also create this sense of uh, something that is being captured without the knowledge of the people who are within the frame. So that was the driving point in choosing this kind of focal length. And we slightly changed that only for the car rig shots. So that we slightly moved away from the focal length. So that was the idea, and we pretty much shot it in natural light. So we wanted to capture the beauty of the landscape as it is, so that it can. I mean, like we experienced it how it was. We were hoping, okay, we should capture this, and we should directly replicate the experience to the viewer, so that they feel they are in the space while
Yeah,
watching.
it reminded me of the plane, and I don't know if you've seen the Clouds of Sils Maria, that film, in which
I
also they have this amazing serendipity, and the clouds just come in exactly at the right time over the mountains and go out, and it feels like it just feels surreal, as if you've somehow directed them. So it's really a lot of
absolutely.
patience required for that kind of shot. So that was very beautiful. And of course the fog and the clouds and the fog have a lot of mystery surrounding them, and they really add to the tension.
Absolutely, absolutely. So that was we would like I mentioned earlier, we were dictated by the behavior of the clouds. So and it even for strangely, so in certain days we had to not shoot because the mist didn't turn up that day. So it that was very fascinating, but we realized how much the weather can change in the mountains. So there is a little bit of sun suddenly, there's a little bit of drizzle suddenly, and then there is full mist. So yeah,
The
that was very
microclimates that take place. Yeah. So it's very nice that you
absolutely.
worked with nature, and your cinematographer and sound people, and your team worked with nature and with the landscape. It's very beautifully done.
Absolutely.
So we
Thank
are
you.
really sad once again that we can't have you here for your world premiere. Thank you so much for bringing the film to the Festival Nouveau Cinema. And do you have anything to add for our viewers?
First of all, I'd like to thank Cinema for having our film featured, and it's absolutely a pleasure because with the rich history and tradition of the festival, we are super excited to have the film being presented as a part of the Temso section. Really looking forward to it, and thank you.
Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your film and your hard work.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Thank you so much. Goodbye.